Yo, what's going on? This is the youngest in charge, Leon Slater, and you're listening to the Sports Jedi Network. You get me?
You're watching Jedi Sports Network with Kev.
I'm Tom Hannafin from TNA Wrestling. You're watching the Jedi Sports Network.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you.
What's up, Kevin? It's me, Myles, Borne. I just wanted to come on here real quick and say thank you for your support. I really appreciate it, and the fact that you're there every Tuesday really means a lot to me.
Hey guys, this is Elena Black, and you are watching Sports Jedi Network.
This is AJ Francis, and you're with Sports Jedi Network.
Going on Sports Jedi Network. Welcome back to the Padawan Awakening podcast here on the Sports Jedi Media Network. Of course, I am one half of your host, BX Sports Jedi Kev, and tonight I'm always joined by the one and only Mr. Jeff Lippman. We got a lot to break down here of this WWE NXT tonight on August 4th. We got some undergrounds, 3 title matches on the line. We have some rivalries, and the stakes keep getting hotter. But enough of that. Don't forget, we're powered by Dude Wipe. Stay fresh, stay clean, stay Dude Wipe ready. Also, Blackout Coffee. Wake up, stand up, never back down. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. Use my promo code SportsJedi20 and save 20% off on all your orders. And we're fueled by G Fuel. G Fuel Energy. Where all the type of tubs, all the type of energy you need, go to G Fuel Energy. Use promo code PGHChris and save. All right, Mr. Lippman, how are you doing tonight?
I'm all right. I'm excited for all of our Padawan maniacs out there coming in to check out the show. And Panda Padawan Monium was breaking out tonight, or was it? So we started off the show. Actually, we didn't start the show with that, but I want to start off the show saying I don't listen. A lot of people in wrestling die, and I don't mean to disrespect any, but I am not the type of host that always mentions it. But when it's Dory Funk Jr. or someone of that ilk, just at the top of the show, R.I.P. Dory Funk Jr. The Funk families are legends, and the 3, Dory Funk Jr. and Terry Funk, all gone now. So, I'm not sure if there's anyone left in the family that's wrestling, but hopefully there is, or there will be soon. So, we open up the show with the recap of the Grayson Waller effect on Cruz Montana and Tony D'Angelo, which was all fine and dandy. I gotta say, it's week 2 with Grayson Waller, and he's already stale and feels rehearsed. Just like the cynic, the pessimist, evil dose evil said he would be, Grayson Waller already feeling forced and stale. Sorry, I told you. Or do you not agree? World and co-host.
Well, we'll get into that when that segment comes. I like the fact that they're reminding us as an NXT fan, or if you missed it, let's face it, it's summertime. I always say this, and I hate to sound it. Everyone that listens to me, and my here he goes again with the same take when it comes to the summertime. You're asking people to stay home here, especially the last month of August. If you're in the Northeast, people go on vacation. They're going to plan. They're going to be out on a Tuesday night, whether taking advantage of the few summer nights that's left. I'm glad that they did a video package to remind us of Grayson Waller. I love when we're going to get into it later on when we get that backstage or in-ring, interview with Tony D'Angelo. But just stay. I'm going to hold my pause there, my thoughts when we get to that part of the review.
Okay. Well, our opening bout is Jada Parker coming out to Booker, being very excited. He wants everyone to bounce, bounce, bounce. I don't know if he's trying to introduce a new chant for Jada Parker, or other than Miss Parker. Frankly, I like the Miss Parker, or the mood just hit him. It just struck him in the moment. Either way, it works.
Maybe his clothes got they use Bounce fabric softener.
New sponsor.
Yeah.
That's great. After you use, Dude Wipes isn't where your maintenance and hygiene should stop. Use Bounce to keep your laundry smelling fresh. Look at us. We can go right into it.
That give you a sucky ducky quack quack moment.
Indeed. And then speaking of quack quack, we've got Thea Hale coming out. I really don't know what that just meant. If anybody thinks it meant anything, it really didn't.
She's a little quirky. She's a little quacky. I can see that.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of quacky. I mean, you got Nikita Lyons coming up too. Oof,
Yeah.
She's out.
Now, Jada and Thea sort of had matching gear. Not exactly, but they were color coordinated. So good on them for doing that. And yes, then we have Natty leading out her team of Carmen Petrovic and the Evolve Women's Champion, Nikita Lyons. They're coordinated. They look great. They look like $10 million. Natty is their manager. Heel, whatever. Brings these guys together. One of them is a champion. One of them is in the El Perros de Mal. And the faces win. And then the heels do a beatdown afterwards, but the faces still overcome 3-1 odds. This is a pet peeve of mine. This goes back, I've been talking about it with the MLW files with Okamura. I do not like when you turn someone heel, you turn them and then you also put someone in a faction and they lose. I sort of get that the Natty Jade Parker issue, and so you want the face to get there, but this makes them all look weak, makes Natty look weak. I guess it really doesn't matter for her, but Carmen Petrovic with Perez Del Mal should be looking strong. Nikita Lyons is the Evolve champion. Now, granted, there is a story going on in Evolve where Thea Hale is in contention for the Evolve Women's Champion, and in fact, 8 women's match, she actually applied her finisher and submitted Nikita Lyons. So it fits in with that well. So I'm not immune to that, and I see that and I get it. So I understand why they did that part of it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a heel at heart.
Let me ask this. You did a good job just speaking about that currently right now. And I just finished saying I like the fact that they did the Grayson Waller recap with last week and in this pipe bomb. Why couldn't they even tell us a little bit of a sniggums or story about that? And also you're promoting your Evolve. And if anything, you want your NXT talent, your NXT faithful or the NXT Galaxy universe to tune into Evolve. So you could, when they come up to NXT, you're like, who the hell's these, ham and eggers? And no, they didn't. So I got to give a little bit of a thumbs down for WWE production. They did good stuff, reminding you in the beginning of last week, but then here, like you just mentioned, a couple seconds, Thea Hale, or even the commentary, Vic Joseph and Booker T, to let us know that there's some issues involved with Thea Hale chasing after Nikita Lyons' title. So right there, that's a little bit of a disconnect. They could have done that where we were like, oh, okay, now you kind of see the match a little with more intent because it's gonna placate it out into Wednesdays. And by the way, I want to give a shout out to our guys on the PUWF who are do the Evolve weekly recap. Now you're going to start seeing it here on the Sports Jedi Media Network. So they will be you're going to see everyone from the Evolve, the one and only one of the top Evolve podcasts and recap shows on the whole entire streaming platform, now part of the Sports Jedi Media Network. I just wanted to give them that shout out.
Yeah, they do both the number 1 and the number 2 Evolve podcasts. So, so that's exciting. Good folks over there. Alex and the Invisible Woman have both separately been guests on Garden of Thought. So that's all exciting. And who knows, maybe eventually we'll get to the rest of the squad. But yeah, I agree with you. They should have sold some of the story about what's going on with Nikita and Thea in Evolve, even though Natty and Carmen aren't exactly involved in that. But that doesn't matter. They were basically paying attention to Jada and Natty, but Jada beat Natty, even though it was through strange circumstances. I don't know. I don't really get where this is all going, except my usual assumption that Natty is the gatekeeper and she's there to test Jada Parker to make sure if she's ready to go to the main roster. And I think she is. I think she's been at least 1 Royal Rumble, maybe 2, and. I guess we'll see. This match was just okay in my view, and pet peeve aside, we already did the analysis. No reason for me to repeat myself, but I didn't think this was a great start to the show. I thought this was, I don't know, it felt like a developmental show match.
No, I got to give them one positive honor. I love the throwback to the heart attack with Lakita Lyons and Petrovic. That was a nice throwback there. It wasn't executed 1,000% crisp, but still, I the ladies appreciate it with Natty Ironheart. I got to say this though, partner. I'm not seeing. I understand the Natalia gimmick, but Natty's this tough badass. You saw her around the world with the MMA intro, and she no nonsense. It kind of feels like it's like, why should I take Natty serious or anything that she does with her group with Nikita and Carmen? With Carmen's more exciting to watch on AAA on Saturday nights, and Nikita's lighting the world on fire and Evolve. Why they haven't given us a reason to really sink our teeth in, really get behind Natty and her group. Layla Dig was gonna get that going, but she got railroad for injury. But how really was it going to? How much steam was it really gonna get? They looked like they were gonna turn on her. So I don't know. To me, could we safe to say to be continue, or you think they're far from actually being impactful, that group?
Well, they're definitely far from being impactful. To be continued always, because it's wrestling. But I agree with you. The Natty as the pit fighter, as the enforcer type of role works everywhere except WWE. It even works in Evolve to an extent. I mean, just because she definitely does class up the joint there. Though I'm not sure with the literal evolution and improvement of the Evolve roster that it's as impactful now as it was back in the day, where really it was half greener than green grass, where now some of the people green as grass, but the level in Evolve has improved a lot also. But yeah, I mean, again, I just go back to, if you create a faction and you have a big deal, the boat, the Loki legend as your manager, they should win. Otherwise, it's pointless. If she's just a coach, she can be a coach from the back. But you're right. I don't know if it's just because of years in WWE. Natty's never, she's always been good. She's always been around, but I don't know that anyone's ever really taken her seriously for more than, maybe there was a few years here and there. And, she was in some good teams, notably Shayna Baszler and her work well together. But I don't know. I don't feel it either. And, with events like this, they don't give us any reason to invest in Natty. And we shouldn't be investing in Natty. But Natty paired with these other two women, we should be investing in them. And let's face it, they're really easy to invest in. They're both really good. They're both strikers. They're both super great looking and sexy in different ways. So we should be investing in them. And instead, the Thea Hale experiment continues. I know that there are people who, love the little scrappy underdog and whatnot. And Jada Parker, who is great, but she's sort of been in the same role for 2.5 years now. Not really, a little bit face, a little bit heel, but really not much different. And no titles, no real clear direction. She wins a feud, she loses a feud, and just sort of stays where she is. And so either move her up or cut bait or loan her to TNA or whatever. Let her do the Kalani Jordan thing.
With Jada Parker, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And I hope that, I would have liked to see, I don't know if it's too late now in her development or where WWE thinks where she's supposed to be at in her time in the company. Never put a title on her. I would love how she would conduct as a champion, how she looks as a champion, how she, does media, all that stuff. I don't know if NXT, it would be better off to see it in NXT. I don't know if she does that in the main roster. I have no idea. With that creative, I don't know what's the apple the eye when it comes to the creative in the main roster. Down low, I know, and when I mean down low, Shawn Michaels, Bloom, and others that make the decision. I don't know. I think they like Jada, but I don't know if they see her as face of the brand. And I told you, she needs a finisher. She did a lot of different things tonight in the ring. I noticed she did a couple head scissors. She's adding more arsenal to her repertoire, but we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I think given her lower body strength, hey, Marie Shadows, what's going on? The legend. I think just a V trigger would be, a simple, do a hip attack and then into a V trigger. I mean, why not? I don't know. Anyway, now we get Tony D'Angelo coming to the ring, and he's going to talk. And as soon as he starts talking, basically, Grayson Waller interrupts him. He's on that balcony. Well, hey, go ahead, make it. We love our audience participation. So
yes,
Michelle,
drop the leg, Goose. Drop the leg, Goose.
Make that joke. Make that joke. Let's bring it. And Grayson Waller basically is saying, he's trying to be funny. He's trying to be forced. He says that everybody's boring and that all the soft guys in the back were tweeting after his promo. And while they're tweeting, and then Tony D'Angelo interrupts him and reminds him that they were on the same team in War Games about 3 years ago at the War Games 2.0, and that he points out that everyone else on the team, even Trick Williams, who was on the outside, all champions, Tony D'Angelo champion, Grayson Waller, not so much. He's just here to make himself relevant again. And Grayson Waller is going to try to, basically says, you lost your family, but I didn't know you lost your balls. That's my Australian accent. Thank you, everyone. And Cruz Montana comes out. He's sort of sick of this crap as well. And Grayson, get out of the way. You're not a real one, basically, is what he's saying. And Grayson's like, yeah. Whatever. And then Tony D'Angelo's he's like, look, I don't really care. Both of you have done me wrong. I'll face either of you. Talk to Stone, have a number one contenders match, and I'll face the winner at Heatwave. And we presume that someone's going to go talk to Stone and see if that match can be arranged. Which, fine with Tony D'Angelo, but again, Grayson Waller hasn't won a match in NXT, and frankly, neither has Cruz Montana, not yet. So it's a little bit abrupt. I guess it's a statement on where management thinks the men's division is in NXT. I'm not quite as down on it as they seem to be. But okay, I mean, at least they continued the story. But I really felt Grayson Waller just felt like the non-funny, stilted, rehearsed, thinks he's more clever than he is guy that was subjecting us to the Grayson Waller effect show for like 2 years until they mercifully, disappeared him, off the world. And as far as I'm concerned, him and Naraku can get a 2-for-1 ticket deal where they can both, head back, all the way west, so far west that it's considered the east. And then Grayson can swim south and, avoid the sharks or whatever. But he stinks.
All right. I wanted to wait on that. I disagree with the Grayson Waller because when he made his points well said. Prior to as soon as he dropped that pipe bomb, no one was talking about Tony D'Angelo. No one. It's true. Everybody was talking about Grayson Waller went nuclear on NXT. Actually, even the PUWF on Saturday nights while SummerSlam was going on, they did their show reviewing and speaking about the Grayson Waller effect on this topic or the clapback. The locker room. You had people in TNA, Moose replying back. You had all different type of talent across the wrestling world from the collaboration side about Grayson Waller and his words. So it did cross the aisle. It did serve a purpose because it got traction in the IWC, Twitterverse, social media. No one, since Tony D'Angelo's won that title, no one's talked about Tony D'Angelo.
That's true. Tony D'Angelo is he's a good wrestler, but he's fairly uninspired. And I know, people didn't like the Mafia character. I did. I like character.
I liked it. I like the guy. I like the family.
And people said that's not a character they'll make on the main roster. I'm like, that's absolutely the kind of character they'll make it on the main roster. They could be selling fedoras, and you can see the whole crowd going like this. It's a character that doesn't make it on the main roster. A sort of big, mean, scary guy. See Dijak for reference. See Karrion Kross for reference. I mean, it doesn't do anything if your identity is I'm tough and fight, and I come out of the shadows and fight you. Now as a face, he doesn't even come out of the shadows. He doesn't even that going from him. Anyway, we can agree to disagree on the Grayson Waller thing. Listen, everybody's desperate for pipe bombs. So whenever they feel like there's truth in a promo, and the promo is unauthorized or is a shoot work or work shoot, they get all excited. But by the time SummerSlam came on,
let me ask this: when his rebuttal to and I know I don't have to, but I'll say it anyway. Cruz Montana, aka Santana Mike Cruz, is one of my favorites. You know that. He's my favorite guy on the top. Right. But I did like, and Grayson came back quickly and said, "What are you going to use the same story again about your family and your about yourself in the mirror?" He did come out with some quick one. No matter how much you rehearse or think that's scripted, he does come out with some quick ones on the spot there. And he kind of put a little bit of truth. Mike, Cruz, you're great and all, but you got to give us something a little more now. With that about, so he did put that, and he went a little, to me, did he go too soon for Grayson? Hey, it's a live mic, and he wants that rebuttal. So now I did appreciate that, even coming from a Mike Santana fan or Cruz Montana fan. I got to get used to it. I did appreciate that Grayson was slick and cutting. There's some qualities that I enjoyed. That NXT 2.0 War Games, I was there. Seeing that group, always been, to me, that's my favorite group. I always said, I even wanted those to say NXT 2.0 has bigger stars than the Black and Gold, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's been proven. I guess it depends how far you want to put Black and Gold. But two things in that.
That's true.
I mean, one, Big Cass came back, and basically it's the same story, except as a heel. I overcame some demons. Yeah, we know you overcame some demons, but we also know that you've been
pointing that out.
Yeah. I mean, you've been working at AEW for the last 5 years, and you worked
that is hell
Impact for a year after that, and you married Lexi Nair, Diamond Dallas Page's stepdaughter or whatever. So you got your hell okay, and to Cruz Montana, you do have to come up with a different shtick than I've been through it, because everyone's been through it, and we've seen you flourish in TNA. We've seen you on NXT. We've seen you all over, and so but as far as Grayson Waller saying we've heard this story before, well, Grayson Waller, we've heard your story before too. How they didn't treat you right, you didn't get the respect, and I was buried, and now I'm here to remake myself and take what's mine. So kettle black, but anyway, it's all right. We'll see how it goes. I will fully admit my bias against Grayson Waller, and that I think this is a waste of time. That it's the wrong kind of heat, but we'll see. I mean, if for me, for every fan that feels the way I do, if there's an equal number of fans that feel the way you do, it's fine. It's a benefit to the product. If it brings any new eyes, it's a benefit to the product. If 4 out of 5 fans feel like dentists feel about Trident gum, the same as me, then it'll prove itself out over time. So we'll see. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not going to stop watching NXT because of it. Obviously, I don't think I'll ever stop watching NXT. So anyway, but listen. Audience, those who are watching live, those who will watch it in the next few days, we'd love to hear from you on this. Weigh in. What do you think? Is Grayson Waller a hit on NXT so far, or is he a miss for you so far in NXT? Was it just one promo, or is it something that you're interested in seeing play itself out? We'd love to hear from you on that. How else are we going to gauge what the Padawan Galaxy feels? If you don't tell us, and then we can position ourselves differently or dig in and double down. Let's see. There's only one way for you to find out. Next, we see Wren with Kendal in the back. Wren Sinclair's a bit manic. She's a bit all over the place. She was a bit jumpy and idioty, I gotta say.
She had somebody put sugar in her cereal.
Yeah, definitely so. Anyway, this was some empty calories, but like you said, they were sugar, so it was empty calories. We're getting ZARIA versus Wren Sinclair for the speed title. Remember that it's speed title rules. ZARIA can win the title. She can't lose her North American Championship. But if Wren Sinclair retains the title, she doesn't have to get a pinfall. She just needs to retain the title. She gets a shot at the North American title at some date to be named in the future. What'd you say? Grayson Waller is a hit for me? Oh, she's playing Paul while we're listening. Okay, she's playing Paul. I guess that's a video game. She's playing now while listening to us. I thought that maybe he was so boring that she was watching Paul. But okay, all right. So Marie is with you on your side as well. So 2 against 1 so far. I feel so ganged up on. All right. This was
now you know how ZARIA feels. Now you know how Paige will feel.
Yeah, right. This was a rather unremarkable match in that ZARIA was moving way too slowly for someone in the speed match. So obviously she hadn't been training for speed or took Wren for granted. Every now and then she looked at the clock and still didn't speed up. There was one spot where she hit Wren in the nose, and it was sort of like a Marsha Brady, oh my nose kind of moment. But it didn't really play into the match any further. I don't know if it was a work or if she actually hit her on the nose a little bit hard, or spoiler, the Wren Sinclair shot that was to be at a future date is next week. I don't know if she's going to be wearing tape on her nose, and that's going to be sort of a way to protect her. Not that you really need to protect her, but anyway. Wren held her own, and ZARIA was trying to rush her finisher as time was running out, but she foolishly hit a spear. They both stumbled out outside of the ring. That was under 10 seconds. ZARIA attempted to rush Wren back into the ring and put her into the F5, but she didn't even do the F5. Wren actually turned it around into her submission. But time was already out before either of those things happened, and it was a bit klutzy and clumsy. I don't know if that's how they intended it to be. I have a feeling that the submission was supposed to be locked on before time ran out, and then there was no submission before. But whatever it was, this felt more than a little bit off to me. Let's get your opinion before we go into the post-match shenanigans.
What I wrote on my, as soon as the match was over, as soon as I wrote on my no contest. Why did we even do this in the first place? With the different stipulation, and like you mentioned, then we have they announced for next week she's still going to get her North American title shot. So what was the point? What was the point? Why do we go through this whole song and dance? This is why I mentioned this, and I said this on our post review with the Sports Jedis. If Seth Rollins looks like he might be retiring or semi-retired, I will make him the general manager of NXT, like the same way as Rey Mysterio, and he could wrestle from time to time. Get Robert Stone out of there, because these stipulations sound like they sound like a joke. Because I would say AJ Styles, but AJ Styles is too busy doing podcasts and doing it. He's another.
Nobody needs to hear more of Seth Rollins' voice.
I mean, somebody who he's the original NXT champion. He's the original. He is when I think of NXT Black and Gold starting, I think of Seth freaking Rollins. I really do, honestly. And
I'd rather they make Big E the general manager. Seth Rollins speaking is like it's like a chalkboard being scratched with nails. However, listen, I don't love Robert Stone either, but he's only saying what they write for him to say.
That's honest is true. It's true. But if they wanted to use that as a scapegoat, that's what's being written right now. The way the stipulation and all the match, it's not working. It was stupid. Why have it? Big E, Big E, that'd be different. Yeah, Big E's a different on there. But then, do you really want to boo Big E?
And wasn't he the first NXT champion?
I wasn't watching that. I wasn't watching the product. I came in 2.0, so that's why I favor 2.0 a lot.
Okay, well, I'm a bit older than that in watching, but I wasn't watching that far back. But I think Big E might have been the first champion. I could be wrong about that. I could easily be wrong about that. But in any event, I'm all for a new GM. I have a conspiracy theory on this. Mm-hmm. I think that TKO, Triple H, and crew have heard the criticism about Triple H's booking, and I think he's been calling upon Sean to secretly help him with it, or at least to help him. And so Sean might be turning over some of the booking of NXT to someone else. I don't know who.
Matt Bloom is his right hand man, and if his dad's Matt Bloom, God help us, because I don't think he's that great. But
I don't know if he's doing the booking or not. I listen. This is just a conspiracy theory, so I have no idea if it's even true, let alone who the suspects would be. But there's probably several of them that they would be. It would my guess would be a committee, which might include Smiley and Orny Lorcan, or Biff Busick, Matt Bloom, perhaps.
Although
Regal.
the in-ring, the coaching isn't the issue. When I mean the in-ring isn't the issue. They're working. It's the storyline to get to it. The ladies put on a pretty good match. Wren Sinclair and ZARIA, the match was fine. The match was good. The match, because of the time restriction.
Right.
I think they kind of did that a little bit purposely. But the stipulation and then not going along with the outcome, there's like of a disconnect there. Well, why I say that, like, when was it? It's the same. We'll talk about that, about the tag team titles match, how we got to that too, which was kind of suspect as well. So there's some stipulation and gimmicks that are not lining up with storytelling. That the storytelling of how we get to these things are not. They're like head scratchers, but but it doesn't take away from the coaching and the in-ring work of the talent. They're still putting the matches over.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the end was supposed to be that clumsy or not. Yeah. I like I said, there's a very good chance that I'm wrong about that. But I know he was an NXT champion. In any event, again, someone's got to do better writing. I don't like these reverse stipulations. And I don't want to compare everything to AEW, but one of the things that turned me off with AEW very early on was that the wrong person was asking for the wrong stipulation at the wrong time, like constantly, and they still do it. It's like backwards, and that's what this feels like. Like these things are not. I know wrestling, they're trying to make things different, but things like eliminator matches and these backward stipulations, it just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. And if you have two people with titles, why don't you have contenders for the titles? I mean, then you have more people involved in stories. I mean, the whole purpose of the belts is to advance other stories, not to intersect, unless you're trying to go with a champion versus champion. Someone has two belts, but usually that's the secondary title and the world title, not the secondary title and, frankly, an afterthought title.
Yeah, and speaking about All Elite Wrestling, tomorrow night, the Dynamite Bros will be live here on the Sports Jedi Media, breaking it down. That will be PGH Chris and Haas. So check them out for immediately after Dynamite, whenever that is over, maybe the 30-minute overrun, 24-minute overrun, 45-minute overrun. They will go on immediately live when Tony Khan decides to say it's enough, or the TBS station says get the hell off the air. But they will be live here on the Sports Jedi Media, the Dynamite Bros. So I want to give them a shout out and a plug.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Definitely tune into the Dynamite Bros. I'm not usually up that late. This is my one night a week that I'm definitely up, but I always listen to the podcast. Sometimes twice, because it's on both the Sports Jedi Network and on the Wrestling Super and Friends network. So sometimes I listen to it twice. Yeah, because I listen to things at double speed. So if I listen to it twice, I'd listen to it at one speed. Is that how that works? So. You know who else was fed up? ZARIA, and afterwards, all of a sudden, the beating up and the F5s that she couldn't do for the 5 minutes, super easy, barely an inconvenience. So
yeah, I know, right? Like now you find to do the F5s. You should have done that 10 minutes ago.
Right. In another story that it is making some sense, but I honestly, I think maybe it's losing a little. Oh, speaking about not losing steam. This is dramatic.
This is it, the grand entrance. I love this. There he is, the Haas Knuckle Brew in the building.
What's going on?
What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Awesome.
Better now. Have you been listening?
All right. No, I just got off the road. I was listening to the show on Sirius XM, though.
Oh, listen, my dude. I got a question for you. Because you might help me or further hurt me. Either way, it's fine. What is your opinion, week 2 of Grayson Waller? Is it still hype, or is he already getting stale?
I like it. He's bringing some flavor to the show.
All right,
told you.
Little shrimp on. Okay, it's 3 against 1. Listen. It's good for NXT. Makes me happy. So let's a little spice on the Barbie, a little Vegemite. Okay, that's fine.
He's proving he's really making his point because he really outshined Cruz and Tony D today.
I said that.
It's not hard to outshine Tony D. I'm going to give a pass to Cruz because even though what he said was not impactful, he still says things in a way that is impactful. You know, he's if Damian Priest could sound like him, Damian Priest would not be in a tag team and, you know, doing movies instead of, you know, being closer to the main event. Cruz Montana is something that you can't fake, and that's authenticity. He just needs to either be scripted better or go off or make that script his own a little bit more.
I agree with you because the biggest thing is with Grayson, the zinger that he threw at Cruz was it's hard to get over with this crowd if you keep telling the underdog story that we've heard, you know, since TNA. We know it's real. We understand that. It's just you gotta be a little bit more clever with it because this is still a work, and the crowd they don't want to go back to realism. Well, that real, I go with that.
Okay, listen, fair enough. I was going to make a quippy remark about the crowd reaction to Grayson, but I think I just inferred it without saying it, so I don't, you know, I don't need to any further. So we got to the point. We've only gotten to the end of the Wren Sinclair ZARIA. So I don't know if you want to catch up on any of the impressions, or should we just march on with the show?
I played off y'all. Y'all go right ahead.
Cool. All right, very good. So we see OTM talking, and they're in the back, and you know, Bronco Neiman wants to make sure that they're good. He's sorry. He owes Lucien one because he took his eye off the ball. This Perros Damal thing, he doesn't want to interfere with the team. And Lucien is like, oh, it's cool. You've got your backup plan. And Bronco's like, well, we're good. And Lucien's like, you know, maybe he's a little non-committal. And then, of course, Birthright walks in. And good God, these Zeros, they've actually done the impossible. They have diminished Ariana Grace. She no longer sparkles. She's actually gotten duller. I think she's gotten less attractive. Her outfits are worse. She no longer makes my heart go a flutter. I cannot believe that these absolute charisma vacuums can do so. Who's the heel of the podcast now, Lexus King? That's me. That's right. It's me.
So she's not sponge worthy anymore.
No, it's done. I mean, I gotta cancel my order of dude wipes now. Come on, this is.
If you're a Seinfeld fan, you know the reference.
I was just about to say we're dating ourselves out here, Kev.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I don't know. I'm sure there's an argument there as well. I've always been. It's true. I've always been that. I mean, it's evil dose. I've always been at least twice as evil as Evil Uno. That's the whole idea. All right. So Lucien's like, you're doing a lot of talking. How about I face you in the ring, Lexus King? And Stax goes, oh no, you gotta go through the whole speed tournament to do that. He's like, I don't care about the stupid speed title. I just want you one-on-one. He's like, one-on-one? I thought you were a tag team. And Lucien side-eyes Bronco, goes, I got a backup plan too.
Wonder what could that be?
Well, I think maybe being a singles wrestler is his backup plan. But segment, pretty good. Lexus King is the only one in Birthright that has a personality and dresses and acts and swags like a wrestler. Uriah Connors dresses like Baron Corbin when people call him the assistant general manager of Applebee's. Stax, I mean, the damage he's done to Ariana Grace is unforgivable. And Charlie Dempsey should just stay in the back and train people. It was better when people were thinking he was nursing an injury or working in Noah or something, other than being on the camera wearing Fred Perry tennis outfits. Nobody's worn Fred Perry since the 70s, for God's sake.
He's the last member of Members Only.
And that haircut is awful. And another thing. No.
This scares me because this is what everybody wanted when they wanted the Street Profits to break up. And I'm really worried if OTM breaks up that Lucien won't make it. Because Bronco has the momentum. And he has more of the look that they're going for, even though they both have characters that need to be developed. It's just Bronco Nima has more of the look, and I'm scared Lucien would be like Angelo Dawkins if the Street Profits were ever to break up.
You make a good point. And by the way, congratulations to Montez Ford and Bianca Belair with they bringing in their baby boy to the world. So many blessings to the EST and to the Mr. Montez Ford.
Now, I did hear that Angelo Dawkins is not the godfather, that the plumber from the Angie's List commercial is actually the godfather for their baby as well.
You sure it's not Moxley? You say plumber. I mean, you get in the wrestling world.
You know what? I wasn't at the ceremony. I didn't make the list.
I don't think Montez and Bianca want a shield.
No, or any death riding around them.
In fairness, they do know that I'm allergic to both myrrh and frankincense, so it's just them being thoughtful as always, because they're wonderful, wonderful people, great family. I agree. I like OTM. I do not like the WWE doesn't seem to care about tag teams unless they think that they can be comedic or they just throw two stars together. They don't have anything else to do with. I like tag teams. However, I do like this story and the intrigue. I just wish it was with someone else, but I like that Bronco Nima is getting this opportunity with AAA and is positioned as a monster in AAA. But yeah, I just wish that it was like the same guy, but a different team, or you found Lucien another partner and they can do the same gimmick and because they're a good tag team and they could be a tag team for 15 years on the main roster. They're big guys. They work good together. I know we're not going to have Road Warriors kinds of, and Dudley Boys, but why not? I say I know that, but why? Why not? People paid to see good tag teams. I mean, sure, there was Hulkamania, but after Hulkamania, you had the Bulldogs, you had the Hart Foundation, Nikolai and Shiki Baby, the Killer Bees. I mean, I don't want to take a ride down. Even Strike Force was a thing, and Can-Am Connection.
I love those groups. Come on, you're talking my language. Come on, keep it going.
I can keep going. I mean,
Doug Furnace and Philip LaFlance, even though they didn't get that much shine, but they were a good tag team.
Yeah,
the Rougeau brothers. Where they really are WWE Hall of Famers. I don't know why the other company was trying to kiss their ass, which but whatever.
Anything to try and sell tickets in a hometown, or give away free tickets just to fill up a place. They're having trouble.
Buy one and get three.
And the biggest thing I don't understand is the booking, because we got the same thing going on with Dark State with Saquon leaving Dark State. So why would you do this to another tag team? So it just seems weird.
And this is the same. And this is where a group of people are dying for. Penta needs to team up with Ray Phoenix. We need the Lucha Brothers. Why? They're not fucking doing tag team wrestling. Penta's doing great on his singles. Ray Phoenix is fine. Why? What's the rush of putting these two guys in the tag team? For what? So then they have nothing for them both? If they're doing good individual, leave Penta alone. This is the thing that pisses me off. Oh, we need the Penta Brothers. I'm the best of the best.
With that, Kev, that's wrestling fans thinking the talent can actually save the TV show. The talent cannot save the show. The booking can only save the show.
Exactly. Right. Thank you.
Yeah, if they're not going to commit to tag team wrestling, there's no point. I mean, I could see it at some point to do some fan service and put the titles on them, but right now, Penta certainly doesn't need it, and Phoenix is not particularly interesting.
I agree with you.
You don't like the cruiserweight champion?
He could wrestle, but okay.
It's better than nothing. I will still say the most interesting that Phoenix has ever been in his career is when he was dead, resurrected as Dark Phoenix on Lucha Underground, and it became Katrina's weapon. that one season. So, you know,
I sure wish we could get Chelsea Green from Lucha Underground. Get Repulsa into the WWE.
well, Chelsea's doing all right. Anyway, I think we're sort of losing our path because we're enjoying our own little vanity project. How's that for a segue?
There you go.
So next, it's Vanity Project for the NXT Tag Team Championship. They are facing Myles, Borne, North American champion, and Tavion Heights. Again, this match was because of one of those backward stipulations. We all saw a split between Myles, Borne, and Tavion Heights coming. We've learned that the Vanity Project has defended their titles 6 times in the last 161 days. So that's more than once every 30 days. For those of you who didn't do the math, I did. It's more than 5 months, but less than 6 months. So good for them. I'm pretty impressed. That's fighting champions in this era anyway. But before we get to that, we see again Grayson Waller talking to Kalani Jordan, and they're sort of talking, over each other but together. And this, well, you know what I'm going to say. I feel like it felt stilted and stale. And Kalani's like, "Well, Grayson, you never got the NXT championship, but you're going for that, and you're skipping over everyone. But you're going to find out what I found out, that I never get opportunity and passed over and passed over and passed over. But you know what? When I get my next opportunity, I'm going to win on my first try, something you'll never do." And even though she's sort of facey or heely on him, he's like, "Don't miss," pun on her fiance, husband, whatever, Carmelo Hayes. Okay, little inside baseball there, but again, are they both heels? Are they heels that don't like each other? Are they heels that do like each other? I felt some negative chemistry here, which is probably good for Carmelo Hayes' relationship, but I don't know. Somehow Kalani was less sexy also to be next to Grayson, but maybe that's just my my negativity.
Question: Do y'all like the insufferable character of Kalani Jordan right now? I guess it's effective because I can't stand it.
I like it. Something different. Because before joining us prior, me and Chef Dan and I think when Chris was joining us, we used to talk about Kalani Jordan used to be like, "I'm so happy to be here," like too bubbly. She was so bubbly, so sweet that it gave you diabetes.
I don't mind Kalani as a heel, but I do not mind this, but it's getting old. Okay. So I mean, I have a feeling she's going to get a title shot at Heatwave. Let's just see how we get there. I'm sure that, it feels a little bit like it's going to be the Sami Zayn thing, that she's going to be screwed and somehow work her way into that or force her way into that. So we'll see. If that doesn't happen, permission to revisit this in the near future. Again,
that's fair.
So Mason Rook comes in and he goes up to Grayson Waller. "Who are you calling soft? I traveled overseas just like you did. And I'm not soft. I'm twice as big as you are." Weird flex, dude. And I'd like to, whatever it was, because Cam Hendricks comes from behind him and starts fighting with him, and Mason Rook fights back, and they brawl off, and Grayson Waller sort of enjoying. He's like, "Yeah, boys, get it, boys," which, that was all right, but it's I don't know. It's like the quasi bully on the middle school yard it's always inciting things. It's like the instigator, but I still don't believe he's tough. So
I mean, Mason Rook has a channel changing heat for me. Like, if I wasn't on the road or listening to it on the radio, I'd be like, man, I just can't take this guy seriously. Like, he shouldn't be talking. He's already looks like a big child. And now he wants to talk tough to Cam Hendricks. I'm glad they got the brawling and got off the camera real quick. I enjoyed that. Get off my camera right now.
I gotta give a shout out to, and my background is gonna change for a moment, but I gotta give a huge shout out to Cam Hendricks, because he trolled Mason Rook over the weekend. I gotta try to. It's gonna change my background for a minute, but bear with me, because there's a picture. There's a picture of him that was hilarious by Cam Hendricks that he
plugged for the MLW files though.
Oh my God! Yeah, good plug for that one. This one.
He looks
Oh
more
my
intimidating right there.
Yeah, I won't ask him for extra pickles if he comes out.
Why? I like pickles.
But Mason Rook might kick my ass, more, but if and from a McDonald's.
I mean,
point
either
of
you're
view.
scared of him or you're not. Pick a lane.
No, I'm not. He's
Okay,
not.
so you ask him for you ask him for whatever you want. I know it's McDonald's, but you treat it like it's Burger King. You get it your way.
Okay, there you go.
But I think that we are on this one. We're aligned. We're 3 for 3 as not feeling Mason Rook at all. You're correct. He looks like a big baby. He doesn't look. Listen, I have nothing against big fat wrestlers in wrestling. I like big fat wrestlers. But you also need to look like you're strong.
Yes.
Otis looked strong.
Yes.
Tugboat Tycoon looked strong. Vader looked strong. And if you don't look strong, you best be really, really big, like the one-man gang was. Mason Rook might be a little bit over 6 feet. Maybe he's 6'2", probably more like 6'1".
They list him in like 6'4".
Well, they list a lot of. I don't know. I mean, you can tell when he's next to Cam Hendricks because Cam Hendricks
with his mullet.
Yeah, because Cam Hendricks is 6'4", might even be 6'5". One thing about Cam Hendricks, if you're listening, dude, your social media game is weird. Like your tweets are weird. They're cryptic, and I can't tell which ones you're working and which ones you're shooting. Pick one, do one. I would suggest just working. Stay away from shooting. Keep that for your personal friends and family or whatever. Because sometimes it sounds like you're battling depression and no stigma against it. I take Lexapro every day, but it doesn't work if you're trying to portray yourself as big tough scary guy in wrestling. Again, or if you agree with these guys, you can listen to what Grayson Waller said to Cruz Montana at the top of the show. I'm sure you were watching. So,
but let me say this. I could say this. If hopefully Mason save a lot of money, because I think, boy, you could make a big food truck and park in front of that performance center and rack up. He looks like he will be a hell of a food truck driver, with making some type of brisket or something.
I don't want none of his secret sauce on my burgers. I'll tell you that.
I think you two are doing variations of the same joke. Maybe you can get like an ODB franchise.
That's what I'm saying. It works for ODB. It could work for Mason Rook. He's out there, even if it's gimmick. I will even make it as a gimmick. Him out there on a food truck out there.
ODB? Didn't hers catch on fire and like she didn't have insurance and had to GoFundMe?
Well, she was at SummerSlam with her meats.
Okay, well, the GoFundMe worked. So okay, all right. Well, good on her. Listen, she's a survivor. Good for you.
Her meets and greets. So imagine Mason Rook says, "Come and have a meet and greets." Meets and greets with Mason Rook.
Well, that's right. People get excited when Tony Khan buys advertising outside a WWE event. We get excited when ODB parks her food truck outside a WWE event. That's right. Go where go where your customers are. It's smart. All right. So next we actually get Tavion comes into the ring. He is now introducing himself as the peak performer. He's a weapon in human form. I feel like someone else called themselves the peak performer recently. And of course, Josh Alexander called himself something like the human weapon. I think Steve Blackman did a while ago. I don't know.
The walking weapon. Right? Okay. That's Josh Alexander.
Yeah, this belt can't save Tavion Heights. I tell you that. He got to get a character quick. This belt can't save him.
I like Tavion Heights. I like his move set. I like his look. I like his size. I like his skills. But you're right. He needs to find himself, and it needs to have an edge. And I think it sort of hurts him that Montana. It's not that I don't like the name. I'm just not quite used to it yet. I think the name's fine. But they sort of look alike. They sort of have the same look. I know they're not the same ethnicity. That doesn't mean people can't look similar. And they're sort of, feeling. Anyway, listen, we just told you, Tavion and Myles Borne won the belts. I did not see that coming. So that was a surprise. Happy for both guys. Myles Borne is a double champion for whatever that is worth. But Tavion Heights, his first belt, didn't get any with the NQCC, didn't get any solo. He's sort of lost all of his opportunities, was on a bit of a losing streak. So, all right, this is fine. I'm sort of expecting Vanity Project to get a rematch at Heatwave. But we didn't really talk about the match very much. I thought this match was fun. I mean, I
agree with you.
Vanity Project works really well together. They have the teamwork and the strategy of sort of like the Brainbusters or Midnight Express. They have the athleticism of the Rock and Roll Express, and they all have Jim Cornette's country club attitude. I love it. Jackson Drake has that new faux hawk haircut. Him and Michael Lockwood tried to get involved, but it backfired. They both got ejected, and that actually ended up backfiring on the squad. I don't know that that's going to lead to anything or not, because more often than not, that leads to success. But it did lead to them being distracted, and I believe Brad Baylor basically walked into a Borne again, and Tavion Heights hit a belly to back, and he got the pinfall. During the match, the story is at some point that Tavion tagged in Myles Borne when Myles Borne still needed recovery, and they were really criticizing him for that. And I was sure that was going to be a story, and I'm sure they wanted me to think that was a story. So for all of the other criticism and storytelling and in-ring and booking, this one was booked correctly, and they played me like a fiddle. So kudos, and a TV change of title. So cool.
The gear, even their matching gear. I love that silver and gray that they had on for both Myles and Tavion. They looked really cool. Again, compliments. They're not my cup of coffee to the Vanity Project, but I could respect and understand they work hard. They work well as a tag team. They work extremely well. And for Myles Borne, he's a triple champion. He's got to go home to Stephanie Vicaire. So he's winning.
Yeah, he gets to pucker up for the Devil's Kiss. Lucky bastard.
Jackson Drake got into it with Maven. Maven said that Drake can't act. Drake tweeted about it. Maven didn't apologize to him, but sent him a signed photo. Maven, I don't know. Maven, boy, yeah.
Maven seems to be proof that some people cannot find a career outside of wrestling, and that's a little bit sad. I'm squarely on Heartbreak Drake's side on this one. Speaking about Heartbreak Drake, we see the Vanity Project basically throwing a fit as they're going out the exit ramp, and Michael Lockwood is behind them. But Keanu Carver's coming the other way, and they stop to look each other up and down, and yeah, I think they're both liking what they're seeing. They're both seeing some tasty barbecue rack of ribs. There might be a love connection here. Jackson Drake may really be suffering the heartbreak. She might be bringing on the heartbreak pretty soon. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Vanity Project, but I don't know. I don't see Keanu Carver joining Vanity Project, but I don't know. That the looks they were giving each other seemed undeniable. Now with Keanu Carver, he's a hard man to read, so he might just have been meeting a stare. He might have been just two grizzlies, meeting each other's challenge and go, one day, Gilgamesh, I'm going to fight you, says Enkidu, or Hercules and Thor, or whatever. But I don't know. What were your thoughts on this? Is this chemistry? Did you feel some pickles and secret sauce tinkling here?
Yeah, Michael Lockwood said, "I'm tired of eating little pickles. I'm upgrading to kielbasa."
I was just thinking an intergender match was going to happen, but that happens on TNA. I don't know if that happens on NXT that often.
Well, it's happening next week, but also I actually typed, you're amazing, because I typed with a question mark, future AAA intergender champions.
Oh,
okay.
I never thought about that.
There's something. Okay.
Laredo Kid and Herrera, you're in trouble.
Yeah. But speaking to our intergender match, we see backstage the Culling sort of are, they've bookended Lizzie Rain.
Yeah. This one was a cold segment too. Oh my
cold
goodness!
Segment.
I needed some safety glasses there. Oof.
Yeah. Well, luckily you had your blackout coffee, which is your cup of coffee. So for all of that, and you G fueled up as well.
Izzy Dane was pointing, and she was pointing straight ahead. Oof. It was cold back there. Those nipples were hard.
Well,
You're
Izzy
popping out of
Dame
that
is okay.
shirt.
Yeah, Izzy Dame is good in my book.
Wrong night to not wear a bra, honey. Ooh.
I disagree entirely. In any event, they are not pleased with Lizzie Rain, and Izzy Dame feels that Lizzie Rain is going to have to learn her place here. And Nico decides to take this opportunity to point out that he's going to take care of Spears. It was all Spears' fault, and Spears walks up with a chair and says, you think you're going to catch me next time, and you think that it's all my fault? Well, guess what? I just talked to Stone, and next week it's going to be you two against me and Lizzie Rain, as if Lizzie Rain even agreed to that. And Lizzie Rain's like, I don't trust you, and if you screw up, Spears, it's going to be 3-on-1 real soon. And he goes, smart girl. You know what? I thought the same thing. Smart girl.
I enjoy Lizzie Rain. She's very fun. Like she carried the segment for me. That entertaining. That's an entertaining woman. Very entertaining. The rest of them, I can really care less what the culling has going on, honestly. Lizzie Rain was just great for that.
I was too distracted by Izzy.
I understand completely.
Yep. So you're going to get a pass. We're not going to ask for any more comments from Kevin on this one. Kevin was busy. Next we get Keanu Carver.
I wanted to give her a hug and warm her up because she looked too cold.
I wonder how Braun Breaker would have felt about that.
Well, according to internet reports, she's single and mingle. I think she moved on to Ricky Saints.
Well, that's not single.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what a downgrade, but
NXT Love Island and Bible study. All right. So next, Keanu Carver facing EK Prosper in the match that Keanu Carver demanded gently and smoothly and gentlemanly. Keanu Carver is looking to avenge himself for going 0-2 so far against EK Prosper. Keanu definitely trying to be more measured, more calm, get less frustrated, control those anger issues, come off more as a gentleman than an unruly, frustrated, unhinged person who is his own worst enemy. He's being all rulesy and smooth. He's doing clean breaks. He's apologizing to Booker when he bumps into him. All of that. Booker had a couple of spots. I don't know. I really thought that to help Keanu more, this should have been a squash match. It wasn't. They clearly had a reason for it, though. The match was mostly EK Prosper on offense, but Keanu not giving up, not losing his cool, and the finish was a strange one. Keanu tried a couple power moves, but EK was persistent in kicking out. But when EK Prosper came off the top rope, Keanu sort of caught him and turned it into a small package roll-up and got the win that way by using his brain and wrestling skills. So I understand the story that they told. I just want Keanu to kill people. I want him to be, my Obafemi replacement in the beginning, when he was doing squashes. But I guess they like EK, and again, they were there to tell a story, and they told it well. So in the end, again, they played me like a fiddle. I'm a sizist. If you all don't know that by now, you should know it. And I see a guy that's listed at 290. He's not 290, but he could be, against a guy who's I don't know, whatever. If he's 170, it's only because he's 6'2", and then he doesn't knock him out with one punch. I know it's wrestling. I get it. I understand. It's just not the visual I like.
I'm right with you on that one, Jeff. I actually saw this match, and I'm with you. He should have squashed him. This is where NXT gets in trouble. Like when everybody talks about how Ricky Saints beat Obafemi for the NXT belt, some things should not be on television. Like Keanu Carver going this long with EK Prosper should not have been on television. How are we going to get this big guy over? He up here beating guys with small packages, going 50-50. Bad visual. I did not like it.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Have you never asked the question? Maybe Keanu Carver is not using one-ply paper now. Now he's probably using dude wipes, so he's much more happier, much more friendlier, more lighter,
I haven't asked that question, but you are our man on the inside in Orlando, so I volunteer you for that assignment.
Okay, I'll ask around my sources. At the performance center. Hey, are they giving out dude wipes now to the talent? Well, that's not. But no. But for all serious aside, for Keanu Carver winning with that small package, they're trying to change his character. What I got out of EK Prosper, and I get a little bit upset or frustrated because I've seen a lot. They gave him the Malik Blade gimmick to EK Prosper. It's all happy go lucky coming out, high flyer. And it's like, okay, I don't see a lot of ceiling with EK Prosper. He's trying to fit Malik, if Javon Evans role, that kind of thing. And I don't know if that's going. I don't know. And also and I'm glad they're trying something different here for Keanu. I know right now is not feeling it. I don't need him to be labeled as a Timu Obafemi. I need him to be his own Keanu Carver. So they're telling a different bit of a character story. I'm not liking it right now. I'm gonna be honest with you, but I'm gonna have an open mind to see where it takes us, if it's fair.
Listen, if they want to do this all the way, I want him dressing in suits and I want him wearing like the same outfits as Nick Aldis. I want him coming out as Gentleman Nick Bockwinkel. If you're gonna do it all the way.
Okay.
That would be interesting, at least visually.
I told you I have an open mind. So
even a sleeveless suit would be okay. I mean, that's too Hulkamania, but no, a real suit. And he wrestles in the same thing.
That
but
won't work for me, brother.
Right. And you know what? It probably shouldn't. Speaking of things that aren't working for me, Dark State. Dark State in the back. We have Cutler James and Osiris Griffith in the foreground, basically, talking with Dion Lennox, I don't know, 6 feet behind them, sitting on a trunk, basically looking like he's brooding a little bit. And they're talking about him like he's not 4 feet away and can't hear them, and basically being like, man, he's so uptight, and like Osiris is being clever and all that. He's being like, yeah, high blood pressure is dangerous, and and then Dion's like, why are you talking about me? Why are you two like not feeling like I'm feeling? You should be angry. Dark State, we used to be something. People used to be afraid of us. We dominate. No. We had the tag team gold. Big deal, this 4 of you. You should have had the tag team gold. And he's still talking about Saquon. I got to get Quan. No, you got to get away from Quan. And now Osiris and Cutler James, it's almost like the same thing with OTM, and they're acting sort of nice and demure and gentlemanly like Keanu Carver. It's like, don't do the same storylines on the same show. I know there's only so many wrestling stories to do, but at least don't do them on the same show. And Dion basically got impassioned, but at this point it just sounds like crybaby whining that this thing with Dion with Quan needs to end. I mean, they've had like a whole bunch of matches where it seemed like it was the end. Then it seems like, what's that song? The song never ends. That's what this feels like.
All right, Lamb Chop.
I hated the camera angle. It made Dion look very small. The cameraman should have done better on that one. And two, this is something we call in the black community. This is light skin problems. This light skinned black man was just crying. You just crying the whole time. I thought one of the guys was gonna slap him. I was waiting for that. That's the television I wanted. Like, they should have had Cutler James just slap the taste out of his mouth. I would have enjoyed it thoroughly if that would have happened. But yeah, so Dion just came up with
the black guy to slap the light skinned black guy's problem.
Yes, yes,
that's dangerous.
You knock some beige out of him.
That's right. Controversy. Bring back controversy to wrestling. I'm with it. I'm with it all.
Okay. Listen, I can get down with that as well.
Because the reason I said that, because Osiris would have been that would have been easy to see. Have Cutler James come out of nowhere and just swipe him. Nobody would have saw it coming.
You know what the problem with Dark State is? The three remaining members of Dark State are all good kids. They're all good kids. The only one that has any street to them is Saquon.
That's fair.
Dion acts okay, but it's acting. And the other two, I mean, one went to Duke, the other went to Syracuse. They're D1 athletes. We know who their girlfriends are. We know, I'm not one that bitches about the show Unreal. Granted, I never watched it, but it's sort of purposeful. But I watch LFG and all of that stuff. But I don't know. We just know too much that they probably go to church every Sunday. They all get each other nice gifts, for every occasion. They probably have non-alcoholic happy hours just to be considerate to the people who don't drink.
The question
they
is,
have
do they
vegan selections? I'm sure.
Do they pass the plate, or do they put into the collection plate? That's my question. They could be naughty. They could be naughty that way and not put anything in that collection plate.
No, they absolutely not. They all do the right
10%,
thing. Yeah. So they never felt real, but at least when it's 4-1 and they're doing beatdowns, it's something. A faction without a goal doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then, of course, Dion lost all of his attempts at singles gold. They got tag team titles a couple times. They even had them beat the Hardys at one point, but I don't know what to do with these guys. It's not like I dislike them. I mean, I especially like Osiris Griffin, because when he first came on X, I'm like, hey, I'll help you build a following. Follow me back, and he did. So I'm inclined to like the man. I like my big meaty guys, obviously, for wrestling sake anyway. I am married to a woman. Some people have actually seen her. Even my best friend, Mr. Thomas. So, but I don't know. I don't buy them as bad guys, and I'm not sure that I actually. Cutler James had a few showings in Evolve where he seemed to have that cold killer instinct that I think that they wanted to see from Julius Creed at some point, that they never quite got, that they never got from. So I'm not quite ready to give up on anyone yet, but not Cutler. Dion I can see, but I think Dion needs to be alone. I don't think playing off other people helps him. Actually, I think Dion and Saquon would make a pretty good team as well, but we already talked about ad nauseum how WWE writ large doesn't care about teams.
Yeah, I just don't want Dion up here whining anymore. It seems like he wants to channel his Drew McIntyre. It doesn't work for him. It just doesn't. Stop whining on television, partner. Stop.
Yeah, you're not Sami Zayn. I mean, you know what? This is the Grayson Waller effect. Whining on television.
Oh my God.
I'm blaming everything on him. All right. Speaking about interesting things, Shiloh Hill is coming to us from video. He reveals that he has a strange skull injury. I don't even, it's like the mana skull, or I've never even heard the term before. And that he's going to be out for a while. It's the first time he hasn't been able to train. Right? We were getting air quotes here from Kevin, our inside. Do you have a scoop for us?
Really? I don't know. I think they're ripping it off TV. They don't got nothing from him. They don't want to skyrocket him too quick, especially with all these men coming in the division and the revamp. That it kind of cuts the legs of Shiloh, and you got to either have him lose, so they'll just cool him off with an injury until he doesn't lose right away, because he's not gonna beat Cruz. He's not gonna beat Waller. They were skyrocketing him up in that too quickly, so they don't want to kill his momentum.
Okay. He's one of the only interesting men on this show. That's
exactly.
What it is.
Exactly.
The show was hurting for him. It was hurting for him.
And Tatum's not there, which is fine, because her having another friend really doesn't make any sense either. Anyway, he gives us some random wrestling trivia, and some of it was interesting. He pointed out the Pat Patterson Brazil tournament conspiracy, no footage. So I like that. I wonder if anyone signed off that. I hope not, and part of me hopes not. But that was fun.
Hey, I know he was wrestling a man.
Maybe
that night.
Did they have a Brazil? I'm not asking follow-up questions.
They made the Pat Patterson thing sound like the Wilt Chamberlain 100-point game. Everybody like, man, how Wilt scored 100 points with no film? The same thing with Pat Patterson.
Yeah, that's true. I thought you were talking about him sleeping with all the women at that short amount of time. But
that too.
Yeah, well, it's like, I think the math turned out that it would have been like 20 women a day every day of his life, including when he was 1 year old. So seems physically impossible. But maybe he's just bad at maths. Anyhow, he also pointed out, he gave us the origin of mist, which I was a little confused about, because he says the fog is coming. But this made me sad because he mentioned Naraku, and I was hoping that Naraku had been returned to sender and shipped back home, but apparently not. Even though this has been his only mention on the show for 3 weeks, and so until this moment, I despite all my nitpicking, I was hopeful that Naraku was just a distant memory of the smoke of a fire from a distant, or the smoke. Well, I don't remember the words to the song, and you two are too young to know the song by the Sanford Townsend Band.
You're right. Completely over my head, Jeff. Completely over my head.
Completely.
Your eyes hide the light. Your eyes hide the mist from a smoke from a distant fire.
There you go. Look it up, guys.
I have no clue.
I love that. It's fun. It's a fun little 70s, early 80s ditty. It's fun. One hit wonder. All right. We then get a Dory Funk Jr. tribute. We paid our respects at the beginning of the show. I don't know if Haas, if you want to, if you had any particular thoughts on this.
It was a nice showing by them. I mean, I did not see much of Dory Funk myself. I'd only heard things, so it was a nice gesture that the WWE did. I will say that.
I wasn't aware how many people he trained that reached the highest levels.
I myself used to see Dory Funk Jr. at the NXT Performance Center. He would show up. He would sit on the I guess the handicap section that they call it. I forget the name. And he used to sit there a lot. He would attend, and he would stay for the whole 2 hours, sometimes double taping. So Dory Funk Jr. was seen very at the Performance Center, even at his advanced age. He would be there. He loved it. He would always show up. So I felt it felt right for him to, I don't think he had that many matches in the WWF at all. Or if he did, it was very small amount. But his impact to, like Mr. Lippman was saying about the wrestlers he trained, and also him being around the Performance Center, just giving input to a lot of the guys that are right now, or ladies that are currently now on the main roster. He used to speak a lot. So yeah, that I'll tell you from experience, seeing him there. He used to be there. He was very involved to the shows and supportive of the NXT brand.
Excellent. Great. Next, we see Robert Stone. He's on the phone. He confirms that someone's a free agent. He also confirms that Grayson Waller versus Cruz Montana will, in fact, be a number one's contender match next week. Who do you guys think he was on the phone with? Do you think it's an outside free agent, or do you think it's someone from the main roster or Evolve that they're going to pretend is a free agent?
I think it's Dick Labor.
I think it's somebody from the main roster.
I think so too. I think it's going to be someone that the NXT audience gets excited about. I think it's going to be a retread like a Ilya or maybe even Ricky Saints.
Any chance of Eric Young? He's been said that he's heading back.
There's always a chance. I mean,
I think Eric Young is more exciting than a Richard Holiday, to be honest with you.
I don't think Eric Young's exciting at all. But my understanding from Eric Young is that he wanted to spend some time actually wrestling before transitioning to a trainer coach. So,
but he was going to do both. He was going to. They offer him that, similar to Sean Spears. Spears has that kind of in coach wrestler. I think that's going to happen because also he could tie into the Fog is coming.
But I think Sean Spears wrestles for WWE. Yeah. I think Eric Young wanted to work the indies and sort of, not be scripted for us. I don't know. Anyway, no, Eric Young is not.
What about Big Cass?
He made his debut already with Monday Night Raw.
I know he did, but they might want to get some more reps before he stays on the main roster for the long run.
Or maybe it's Enzo.
Well, they just started a feud with him attacking Javon Evans, so it looks like he's either going to keep attacking people randomly. I mean, it could be Rusev for all we know, or I suppose it could be someone from AAA as well, or someone that's a free agent from TNA, someone like Leo, who probably still is under contract with TNA, but he's probably going to WWE, and so they can pretend that he's a free agent that's being brought in. I don't know. I don't know what to think. There's a lot of, It could be a woman. It could be Julia, who was a failure to launch, and maybe they're gonna try again. But they don't need more women.
I feel it was a male. I think to me it feels like a male. Maybe it's Mr. Thomas. Who knows?
That'd be so exciting.
Or Luke Menzies. He hasn't been around.
Could be.
We'd love to see Luke Menzies back in NXT.
How's things going between you and your new best friend?
He's back in town, I believe. Hopefully we'll get a date so we can start doing our show again.
You mean like a date, like where you guys have like coffee together?
Actually, a streaming date, so we could be
not like a cocktail. And then
no cocktails, no, nothing.
Tapas.
No budget. Production budget is very cheap. They don't allow me.
High protein, for his big muscles.
No, that he's gonna have to do it on his own, pal.
All right. Well, Luke, call him. All right. So we've all put in our votes on what that is. Cruz is out there saying, "Good, I'm going to get the match," and Tristan Angels approaches him, and basically Tristan is offended that Cruz walked in and he's right in the title picture. What's he done? He's the new guy, and Montana. Again, don't dislike the name, just not used to it. Montana mentions that all the shows that he's been on grinding, and that how long has Tristan Angels been here? 3 months. Oh, so I'm the new guy. So that was all right. That was good. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, effective. It was an effective segment. I don't know. I don't get the appeal with Tristan Angels, but effective segment.
A little bit worried that Tristan Angels is being set up just to keep losing, but I guess he has one of those heels that it really doesn't matter.
No, you just don't want to see him even when he comes out. You still want to punch him in the face. When he comes out, and I was impressed how, although Cruz ain't that tall. I believe he's like 6'2". Tristan was a little bit taller, 6'3", 6. So it was impressive seeing him standing next to Cruz. It was like, oh, okay.
Cruz is not 6'2". He might be 6'1". He's probably like 6 foot and a half inches.
No, he's like 6'1", 6'2". I stood next to him for the picture, and he was a bit taller. I'm at 5'10", 5'11" without a haircut.
Without a haircut, I stood right next to him also, and he's like a little bit taller than me, and I'm 5'10" even. Like he might have been 2 inches taller than me. I don't know. Anyway, that's not particular, but yeah, Tristan is 6'3". I wonder if the free agent is Kit Wilson, or Elton Prince, because that Kit seems to be doing well on his own thing. Elton Prince, I don't know, another snooty British blonde guy. Yeah, maybe Pretty Deadly 2.0. I don't know. Again, I'm fantasy booking a tag team, which
we will see, because it could be that. Marie, if you're still in the chat, please help us. Naruto's friend from New Japan, that maybe Naruto went to go get him. He needs reinforcement. I don't know. I know
you make me sad. Was it Takahashi?
Him too. Takahashi, Tamahagachi, Hibachi. Yeah, one of them.
I think Hibachi, I'm all for.
That's why we need to put Mason Rook behind the Hibachi grill.
Well, speaking of Mason Rook, yesterday on the MLW Files, we covered a wrestler named Dookie. So
yeah, Dookie. And it wasn't Kenny Omega either.
Dookie. So all right, very good. All right, NXT Underground for the Women's Championship. Surrounding the ring, we have Evolve. Evolve Talent, NIL program. Some people I didn't know. Hank and Tank for reasons unknown. I thought originally it was that they're just to be hype guys, but there had to be a reason for them. Sure enough, there was a reason for them. I did, in fact. So I was a little distracted. Hiromu. But isn't his last name Takahashi? Isn't that the guy who used to walk around Daryl the cat? The stuffed cat?
What? A stuffed cat?
Yeah, he like
what a Dragon Ball Z is this?
No, he used to walk around with like a stuffed cat animal, or sort of like Mr. Iguana does, but it wasn't a puppet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey,
I know nothing about any of this.
Hey, it beats a Doomy doll.
I only know because they did a lot of time with Ring of Honor, with Bullet Club, and before they were the Elite. versus Lij, and he was in that mix.
Okay,
I'm
interesting.
gonna have to watch some tape study of Marie's because I don't know none of these people. I don't know.
Yes, by the way, you have to check out Square Circle podcast and the tape studies by Marie Shadow. So that's a good segue of a good promo. Definitely, we'll definitely put the promo. You know what? Next time I'll have all the information on our video description, so folks could go and check out the tape studies from Marie Shadows.
Indeed, absolutely. Okay, so I was very distracted because I'm sitting there trying to figure out who's around the ring. I want to categorize everyone there. I'm saying Braxton
a lot of those
Cole.
outfits that some of the females were wearing there. I was like, whoa, there was a few of them. And I'm like, whoa, look at this. Milk does a body good.
I'm seeing Zena Sterling. I'm seeing Shady. I'm seeing I don't know. I'm like looking around. Harley Riggins is there, and so I'm distracted doing that. So I gotta say I probably missed a good amount of the first third of the match. But I definitely woke up when they did that spot where they slammed Kendal Gray right into the stairs. Thought she hit the front of her face. I wasn't sure if it was too hard or not, but clearly they made it. It was the side of her head, and she had a bloody ear. So the story then was, can she go? This cannot end by pinfall. It can only be by ref stoppage, TKO, or knockout of any sort, or submission. So can she continue? We come back from commercial. She has a ridiculous bandage around her head, sort of covering her ear, but it's not taped down, so it's sort of leafing up. It's like bending up.
She starts yelling, "I can go! I can go! I can go!"
Right, the feisty little honey badger. She doesn't give enough. So yeah, she's there's no quit in her. There's no quit in Lola. By the way, Lola's family was there. Her father, her sister. The usual, I guess, for you to think that she's going to win. So Kendall's really selling very well that her inner ear is just busted. That she has no equilibrium. She has sea legs. She's sometimes she's having trouble standing up. She's having trouble with balance, but she's not giving up. Lola's sort of taking over, but it's never she's killing her. But it looks like Lola's getting the best of it. At some point, Lola Vice hits the back slam, the back fist, and Kendal Gray does the nasty plunge off the side of the ring right into Hank and Tank, who catch her mosh pit style and push her back into the ring, backwards, which leads to or forwards, which leads to like a headbutt on Lola Vice, which simulates that Lola is knocked out and might be down for the 3 count. They point out there's no pinfalls. There's no pinfalls. That Hank and Tank tried to help, but they didn't do it. Now, I don't know that they tried to help. They just tried to keep her from getting killed. But anyway, that was the Hank and Tank reason for being there, not just being hype people, although they were definitely hyping it up. And at some point, Lola Vice hit a spinning back fist, not on Kendal, but on Adrian Butler, the referee. So he was knocked out. And of course, during that time, Lola applied her sleeper lock. Kendal was completely out of it, but there was no referee. Lola spends a lot of time getting the referee woken up. And Wren Sinclair, who is Kendall's second, is spending time basically slapping Kendal, waking her up, getting her back and inspired. And then they trade blows. And while Lola is trying to apply her finisher, her submission again, Kendal actually is applying her arm bar, but also at the same time a leg vice, leg scissors around her neck. It's actually pretty impressive how I did it. And Lola Vice tapped out a little bit quickly for my taste, but she tapped out. Kendal retains her title. Lola is no longer absolute queen of the underground, but I think worst kept secret in wrestling is that Lola is going to the main roster. So this is her goodbye, and I'm sure she was happy enough to do the honors. Streaks sometimes are curses as much as blessings, so it's probably just as well. And there we go. I mean, that was, we get a show of respect at the end, and that's how we went off the air. No swerve, nobody attacked, no Kalani Jordan coming in with the chop block or anything like that. Just a feel good moment. didn't love the match. I thought there was a little bit clumsy in the acting, the execution. I don't mind the story. Maybe if the bandage was a little bit better, maybe if they put some red fake blood on the bandage, like they did with Tony D when his eye was burned. But it was okay. It was okay. I was invested, just distracted because of silly things like me trying to figure out if I know who all the wrestlers are around and I was fixated on some guy with a red shirt who I didn't know who that was, but I feel like I've seen him before. Anyway, enough of me monologuing. We've got two experts here. What are you guys thinking? Thoughts on that?
We knew Kendal was going to win. I just hate that WWE doesn't let people have streaks. Like they like Lola should have stayed undefeated in the underground. They could have just made this a regular match. I didn't care for that. It was the same thing with like Bianca Belair being undefeated at WrestleMania. Then she had to lose to EO in WrestleMania last year. Some stories can be made out of those streaks, so I didn't like that. But the match was fine. That's just me nitpicking on this, but I just feel like that streak would have followed Lola to the main roster. Like you can't beat her in the underground. So I feel like it could have been a good thing for her biography, but that's just me.
I hated the whole fucking thing. To be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, and here's the reason. You know, this channel, well, my old channel, my son covers the UFC, MMA. I know they're not UFC, they're not MMA, but they're in the same bed together. Where, especially now in this modern 2026, where you got a lot of head injuries, a lot of wrestlers or athletes, safeties, and all that. Yeah, you did the spot there at on the stairs, and she hit and she sold the shit out of it because like, oh shit, is this really for real? Because they didn't cut the camera away, nothing, and blood was coming down. So I don't know how the hell they got there. I was like, this has to be that she went too hard and she actually really knocked herself and started bleeding from her ear. Once a fighter in MMA or any combat sport gets up and from the ear and has no leak or embryum, the match fucking stops. And then while you bring in the medical team in to take a look at the match, and this is a world title, you stop the match. They did it on NXT, they did it on TNA with Steve Macklin and Mike Santana in a main event, by the way. In a main event, I say, you know what? If she has to stay another week or even until Heat Wave or even in AAA, so be it. Let Lola wait or let her show face there and come back and forth. It's not like they've got anything compelling storyline wise for Lola and SmackDown. There's nothing there that's waiting for her. Oh my God, we got to get Lola Vice here. They could have waited. They could have, you know what? Injury, shit happens. She should have won the NXT Women's title, then have her lose it at Heat Wave. You know, you caught me this, whatever the case is, and that would have been fine. I totally hated it because you took the integrity of combat sports and you wipe your ass with it. Seriously, terribly. I know it's wrestling, not to get too over, but still, when a fighter many times show that they didn't have equilibrium balance in their head, that's I thought who. And by the way, can we get a name for the fucking referee? Is it Daryl Schwarmer or is it Adrian Butler? Because when he's on Monday Night Raw, Daryl Schwarmer or Adrian Butler. What the fuck is the guy's name? What's the guy? It's the same ref. It's the same ref. In AAA, he's probably named Josito. I can't stand it. I was so upset. Lola, I don't think she deserved better, earned better. It wasn't about that. It was about the integrity of the combat sports. Wrestling fits under combat sports. The integrity of the perception, especially many times in the ring, didn't have her balance or equilibrium. It just, to me, it took me totally off. I said, you know what? It would have been more. You would have got a little more storytelling realism. Yo, she hit herself on that step. She knocked her, and they could run it back. I knocked myself out going on and hitting that step. You didn't, but no, I didn't like it. I'm on it. To me, it's the continued force feeding of Kendal Gray. She's great. Don't get me wrong. She's going to be a Hall of Famer. I'm saying that now, but I'm feeling like we're getting force fed her really quick, really fast, and people are going to give it by Halloween Havoc, or I'm going to say Deadline. They're going to get tired of her. That's just me.
Well, listen, we're all allowed to have our things. We're all allowed to have things that set us off. Fans are allowed to have that. You know, fans can like or dislike whatever they want for whatever subjective reasons they want. I do not consider wrestling to be under the category of combat sports. I think it's fun to try to fool yourself that it is, but it's not. I think the fans desperately wanting and trying to fool themselves that it's a combat sport has made fans lose their minds. They don't understand what pushes are. They don't understand what buried is. And that's why you get the people like that loves to see 32-minute bangers between Matt Sydal and Bandito for nothing and think that that's good television. And that's fine. They enjoy that. But the story here, let's be honest, Kendal Gray does not have a lot of natural speaking charisma. When she speaks, it takes you out of the game. Wren Sinclair helps, but she's a champion, so she's got to. So what she has is her scrappiness, and that she's the Thea Hell that succeeded, that overcame. So she went into Lola's world. She had an injury that would have set people, would have been impossible for most people to overcome. She insisted on going forward, which we've seen in wrestling before, that the talents say, I'm not quitting no matter what. So unlike combat sports, the referees in wrestling do give discretion to the wrestlers. And her story was, I am the little train, don't you dare call me a little train, that could, can, and will do no matter what, because that's her charisma. Her charisma, she's like Daniel Bryan. She's the underdog yes movement. Daniel Bryan couldn't cut a goddamn promo until he was working with Kane, and even then he was working off Kane, and then he found his voice. It took like 6 or 7 years for Daniel Bryan to be someone that you actually wanted to hear versus seeing. So this is all part of protecting Kendal Gray. Does nothing for Lola. I heard what Haas said about the streak. However, I don't think Underground is something that we're going to see on the main roster, or if so, they'll bring it back when it's new and fresh again every year or twice a year in NXT. It's probably not all that safe. They probably want these wrestlers to get used to working with the ropes. It's probably not the greatest idea to have the NIL and Evolve people there in case something happens. They don't know exactly how to react. It's neat, it's nifty, but it's like, I kind of feel like I've seen it enough, like once a year, once every 3 years would be fine. And like I said, streaks can be dangerous. I mean, you're right, they are fun. It's fun that Rhea has never beat EO. You know, that's sort of like a negative streak. Well, I guess for EO, it's a positive streak. But in the world of wrestling, I don't think the NXT Underground streak matters very much. I mean, the longer your streak is, it just means the longer you've been in NXT. I mean, it's sort of the criticism people lay about Tony D. It's like, yeah, you're the champion of NXT after 6 years being there. You know, so there's always sort of like that, yeah, but. And I'm the king of yeah, but. So I know when it's reached. Anyway, like I said, I didn't love the execution of it, but I definitely appreciate the story. And I know why they did what they did. But I don't have the and by the way, I think real combat sports probably don't have any integrity anyway. I think that they're largely fixed and largely bullshit. Anyhow, so when you said the integrity of combat sports, I mean, I think that's a little bit of a LOL anyway. I also want to make a snide remark about TNA. They stopped the match because that's why TNA is a challenger brand to NXT. I'm kidding. That was just a snide, swarmy remark.
I have nothing to say.
The TNA did not deserve.
Well, they had Herb Dean. Maybe that gives some hope for Herb Dean to becoming when he's done the UFC referee to be a WWE referee.
There you go. There you go.
But doesn't take away from a very entertaining NXT. It's just our at that moment of time of that placement, it was an entertaining 2 hours. It doesn't take away from it. It wasn't a terrible show.
NXT is usually a pretty easy show to absorb and digest, and it was. And yeah, so no, I definitely did not enjoy it. I mean, I said what I said at excruciating length about what I feel about Grayson Waller. All three of us are not that interested in Mason Rook. You know, you didn't love the main event story, you know, and then, you know, and me and Birthright and, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, with all of that going on and still enjoying the show, I mean, it's fine. But that's wrestling. So sometimes you're going to like 50% of what's on there. Sometimes you're going to like 2/3 of what's on there. But I don't know that any rational person really ever likes 100% of what's on a wrestling show. I mean,
it's a priority.
Yeah.
Keyword rational. You said the right word there.
That's too rational. That's right.
I mean, to me, if you like 2/3 of what's on the show, that's like a Hall of Fame show. That's like hitting 320 in the majors.
There you go.
So yeah, I like NXT. I like to say NXT is delightful. I think it is delightful. We all have our biases, and then we're gonna see what happens, and let them play out. I think that we were 3-0, not exactly digging what's going on with Dark State, but all these segments were short, and they all are part of continuity and stories, and they all made sense. So to not have them would make less sense. And they even fit Shiloh Hill in with his injury, and then he managed to come up with a fairly entertaining bit there. So, so that was pretty cool. I like him doing research and web stuff. I like dark web Shiloh more than unhinged lunatic workshop Shiloh. I don't mind the workshop every now and then, just not every week. He's like when Shotzi was rebuilding her tank, like that was just for one show. That wasn't like her character. And I think, like we're seeing with Danhausen, WWE writ large does not know when less is more, and they'll have more staying power. I feel like they think very short term, generally speaking.
Yeah, well said.
Question: what do y'all think they're gonna do with Lola when she goes to SmackDown? I'm kind of scared for her.
I don't know. She's gonna come out like Ivy Now's. No crickets.
I hope she knocks out R-Truth, and Damian Priest takes a dark turn.
Because here's the thing.
That is something.
Here's the thing, Hans. I would love to see her renew a rivalry with JC, but she's got fade away. I mean, who's she gonna get back up? Like, she's gonna need Paige. I mean, I don't know. I'm with you. I'm like confused. What is Lola? That's why I said, what was the rush? You know what? The match, she would have kept her undefeated streak and they could have. I was like, that's what got me bothered. What was the rush of her losing that underground match? They could have went with the equilibrium part, but I don't want to go back to what I said a few minutes ago. You could listen to me again back then, but I don't know. That's why that was my what next. Well, you're gonna go a couple of weeks of vignettes of Lola Vice is coming, because that's what it looks like. I don't think she's gonna show up this Friday. It's I could be wrong, but I don't think it'll be this Friday.
Because I already know what her character's going to be, and that worries me. They're gonna show her as a hot ass kicker, like the hot version of Ronda Rousey or Shayna Baszler, and it's not gonna work.
She just lost Underground. How are you gonna? You remember? People remember the last thing. And then I still remember her losing it to an underground match.
3/4 of the main roster audience doesn't watch NXT, and 90% of the people who buy tickets don't.
They pretend they don't watch. They watch. They pretend.
I mean, you got a point, Kev, but everybody seemed to forget that Obafemi lost to Ricky Saints. Now he can eat 7 F5s and beat the Beast incarnate. So,
yeah. Strong booking is only 3 weeks away, and sometimes less than that if you really commit. I'm not. I mean, I am worried because we've seen not so great booking, I mean, there's an easy way to solve it, and that's the way I solved it, which is I don't watch the main roster. I just watch the PLEs and the Saturday Night's Main Event, and I enjoy them a whole lot more than at least consistently. That seems to a lot of folks did, though. People were saying SummerSlam Night 2 was spectacular, but saying SummerSlam Night 1 wasn't. I thought SummerSlam Night 1 was plenty good. I mean, was Night 2 better? Maybe. I mean, I guess it depends on how you feel about more mini Housens and Danhausen and all that. But I don't know. So I don't know what she's going to do on the main roster. Who's the U.S. champion? Is it still Tiffy?
Yes, Tiffany. Yeah.
So if she's going to be a badass, kick-ass woman, then maybe she can walk right up and answer a challenge. But I think you're right. I don't think she's going to show up until after Labor Day, and I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't something like she wins a qualifier to get into money. Is it Money in the Bank in October?
Yep,
It's in
October.
October.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I see Lola shows up after the AAA show on the 31st. After
Like
she'll work the AAA show, and then she'll show up on the main roster.
I think they're gonna feed it to Blake Monroe.
You might be right. You might be one of those onto something there for Blake Monroe. Let me ask this question to you guys: a whole calendar year, and let's put it to September. How many PLEs do we see Lola Vice in? I only say one, maybe two.
On main roster PLEs?
Yeah, for Lola Vice.
None.
I say two because that'll probably be a Royal Rumble and SummerSlam and WrestleMania.
Fair enough. One Royal Rumble. You're right. That's one. That's right.
Yeah, that's all I see.
I think they're going to put her in Money in the Bank. I think that she's going to be in Royal Rumble. So I'm going to go with the over. I'm going to go 3 or more. I just need to go with the over of you guys, but I'm going to go over 3. I think that she will be on, and I guess not including Saturday night's main event.
No, those are not considered PLEs.
I'm gonna say that she'll be on at least one Saturday night's main event. I think they want to get whatever audiences to
benefit them
their assets.
I'll give you 2 if they bring Evolution back next year. I'll give you 2 if that's the thing.
Oh, a third one you mean because WrestleMania and
I don't think she's gonna be at WrestleMania.
No, I think she will because there's something. Oh wait, that's Saudi Arabia.
Can't have that many women in Saudi, sir.
No,
you know
no. I prefer her not being there. I don't want to see her in pajamas.
She might be on a SmackDown the night, the Friday before WrestleMania.
I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna go. Well, we'll have that plenty of time.
Oh, they're sending everyone. Saudi is pretending that Riyadh is a tourist destination.
Yeah, Turkey Al Sheikh wants them all there. Yeah.
Well, they pay $220 million for WrestleMania. Everyone's like, they're going to pay a lot for Brock Lesnar. No, they're not. WWE is going to decide how much they're going to pay Brock Lesnar out of the $220 million they're being paid for Saudi. Saudi isn't writing a separate check for Brock Lesnar. That's not how things work, folks. WWE gets $220. They decide how to spend it. So I don't whether they invested on.
I think Brock is never coming back.
Do you think Saudi writes a separate check for The Rock?
No, I don't think Saudi's writing a separate check for anybody. And if I'm WWE, I'm staying far away from The Rock for a while. He's been stinking up things left and right on WWE. I'm not saying his movie career is done because it's not. Everyone over exaggerating all of that, but no. I mean, he might be there as a member of the board, so we might see him. But The Rock's got plenty of reasons to help WWE be successful in that he has something like 94 million shares.
Yeah. But Rock, you might be stinking up the WWE creative, but we want you to sponsor us with your Papa Tui. We want to smell good. So Papa Tui, answer my emails. We want you to be the sponsor of the channel.
Yes.
I don't know what Papa Tui is, but yes.
That's The Rock's brand of to smell well and take care of your tattoos and all that good stuff.
Okay, so it's cosmetics. It's not competing with any of our existing sponsors. Okay, so it's a male cosmetic line. Okay,
yeah.
Listen, we're all for that here. As Haas always says, move your ass, then wash your ass.
That's right. See, Jeff gets it. He gets it.
He gets it.
It's
the mission statement.
I talk a lot, but I listen too.
Well,
oh man.
Well, we should end this because I have to get up in the morning.
All right.
Haas, thank you so much for jumping in. It's been a pleasure. It's been a while since we've been on the air together. I think it's only been twice before. It's been too long, my friend.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try to make it more often.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
All right. Well, if you want to find me, you can find me at dose_evil. Obviously, you can find me here on this show, as well as the MLW Files with my best friend, Mr. Thomas, erstwhile of MLW Wrestling and the godfather of the Boumaye Fight Club. So there's that. And Garden of Thought on Sundays, sometimes Wednesdays also, including tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to delve into the world of AI with an AI expert. So prepare to be terrified, or maybe he'll pacify the terrors. I'm kind of hoping for the terror, but that's what an evil person does. And not this week, but next week, the Out of Character podcast comes back. Vinny Pacifico has booked us another guest, a talent named Jonathan Thor, who he's worked with on some projects, movies, et cetera, et cetera. And next Wednesday, on a Garden of Thought Wednesday, which maybe we'll call it it's a Garden of Thought, from the Out of Character podcast, Amber Brooke is back. So our own little scream queen, horror queen coming back, and we're going to talk about, she said, I have a lot of scary stories to tell you, so she's going to tell some scary stories. So new friend level activated. So there's plenty of that with me, maybe too much. Kev and Haas, take it away from where they can find and follow you and all the great shows that you guys do.
Don't forget tomorrow night. Go ahead, Haas.
All right, wrestling fans, if you are on for Dynamite, please join us, me and Chris, for the Dynamite Bros tomorrow. I will be unleashing about this Continental Cup nonsense that Tony Khan has unleashed upon us for All In season. So please, you do not want to miss that. We're going to be talking about Arena Mexico and a Grand Slam and all this nonsense. Please join us if you are AEW fans, the Dynamite Bros. Right after Dynamite, join us.
You got it. You know how it is. And then, of course, the weekly wrestling, the Sports Jedi's weekly wrestling on Saturdays. We'll talk about everything throughout the whole week, all together. And we have a conversation. We talk. We bring all the news and notes. We got releases from TNA, not renewal contract. We're going to talk about that. Mara Sade, where she goes, Jody Threat. We're going to talk about whatever else comes up in the world of professional wrestling. We will have that on Saturdays here, of course. Follow all of us. You can follow us here as we continue to grow. The PUWF, the Evolve Show, will be joining us. They'll be coming on Thursday night to break down the review show of tomorrow, I believe. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to do the NXT time with D-Walk. I don't know, because maybe that's something that they're going to keep on their own show. And then we'll definitely have that conversation there as well. Will Roman Reigns show up to Worlds Collide? That's something that we'll definitely acknowledge on Saturday with that. And we'll definitely have that conversation and all the different programs that we're going to have here as the channel keeps growing. Don't forget Talking League, the Mega Mets podcast, and many more that are part of our Sports Jedi Network channel. So, guys, have a wonderful night, because I got to get up early in the morning in about 3.5 hours or 3 hours. So, have a good night, guys.
It's still real to me, damn it. I mean, thank you.
Take it easy, man.
Thank y'all, guys. Y'all are awesome.